Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. We're having a wild and wacky time in September 1982. Last playing Hungry Boy on the Apple II. Man, oh man, it was a good Pac-Man clone. Of all the Pac-Man clones out there, let's press forward and see our next game. Oh yeah, we're going to the arcade to play Pengo, which means we're going to Japan. Let's check it out. Here's the advertisement flyer for Pengo. If you're surprised, oh, that's the advertisement flyer. So this is the one they advertised in Japan. I have never seen this one until today. Blew my mind. It looks like a different font and everything. It's our hero, Pengo. It looks like a completely different penguin. At least the Pengo I was used to seeing by Sega. But apparently this is the first in Japan. You flip that one over the back, and there he is again. He doesn't even look like his character in the game. It looks like a more sophisticated penguin. With the example of the screenshot there. So I'm guessing Sega rebranded him to make him look closer to the game whenever it came to North America. Yeah, so there you go. That's the Pengo. That's the one I'm looking for. And he even has the same color that you're going to see in the game. This is the very first video game starring a penguin. And why not? I mean, it's Pengo. If you've never heard of him before, it is a really, really fun game. So you flip over the advertisement flyer on the back. It tells us all about how to play the game. The penguin smashes snow bees and avoids being stung, and that's only the beginning of the fun as you control and move Pengo with a 4-way joystick, crumbling and sliding ice blocks with a control button to score points and earn extra rounds, because it goes level by level. As a snow bee squasher, you must learn to use caution and skill to avoid pursuing snow bees who can deliver a critical sting to Pengo upon contact. You must also learn to stalk snow bees by lining Pengo up behind a free ice block. Wow, there's so much information to the game because this is a brand new concept. There's nothing that's done this in any video game we've seen so far. So they gotta do a lot of explaining to do. If you look in the middle, it shows us all the points to play. We want to be able to find the diamond blocks, line them all up, and clear them away. And you get, wow, 10,000 points if any of the blocks are touching the wall. At least it says here. Pengo, the snow bee squasher. I didn't even know he had a tagline, but there you go. He's the snow bee squasher. There's the example of 2 arcade cabinets way up there at the top. This is by Sega. There's our arcade PCB, and there it is, the control panel for Pengo. You just need a 4-way joystick and then 1 button to push the blocks. Yes. Yeah, very simple controls. There's the arcade marquee. Look at him. He's ready to play. And over here's another one. Oh, it's slightly different Pengo. How many different versions or variations of Pengo were there? This is the only Pengo I remember whenever someone tells me about the Sega mascot. There we go. That's the one. That's what we're going to be doing in the game. Well, there's an example of the screenshot. So much fun. We also have the operator's manual for Pengo. Very nicely done. Look at that full color operator's manual or owner's manual for Sega. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 40th arcade game by Sega we've seen on the show. They've collaborated with a few other people in a few of the arcade games like Gremlin and Konami, and I think one of them was Cinematronics, or at least they published a game by Cinematronics, but 40 games, 40 arcade games by Sega. They are on a roll. They've been doing it for a long time. What do they have to say about Pengo? There we go. We got game concept, so I'm going to flip to that one. We don't need to go through all the important notes. There it is. Oh my gosh, look at all this text. When the start button is pushed, the screen is filled with a grid of 10 by 16 ice blocks to the accompaniment of music. Some of the blocks are erased to form a maze of ice blocks. That's why it's like a top-down maze game like Pac-Man. And the maze configuration changes from round to round. The central character, Pengo, the penguin, appears at the center of the screen, and 3 snow bees, no more than 3 in later rounds, also appear randomly within the maze. 3 of the ice blocks are special diamond blocks, which can be aligned through skillful play for extra points. There are also some special blocks that flash on and off for a few seconds at the start, signifying they contain snow bee eggs that will hatch later on. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Look at the instructions. This is an entire wall of text, another entire wall of text to explain how to play. You'll get the idea when we go in the game, but it's pretty cool that the North American distribution of the game has a lot about how to play the games because it's different. It's different than anything else we've ever seen. This one has lots of different sets and a bootleg version. We're going to the arcade in Japan to play Pengo by Corlin Technology, Shinji Igi, and Akira Nakakuma. By Sega, it is September 26th, 1982. The very first time you could ever play Pengo. Squash the snow bees. And just like Pac-Man, look, it explains who Pac-Man is, what a snow bee is. There's the ice block or the diamond block. Oh, I know. We're going to see lots of sequels to this. This had me thinking of mascots because Pengo is a defined character. It looks pretty good like a mascot for Sega. Because when you go back in time, one of the first games Sega ever did was a game called Frogs. I don't know if you can consider Frogs a mascot. And then they also had Samurai. I don't know if you can consider Samurai a mascot for Sega. And then that guy that was hanging out with the tranquilizer gun, I don't know if he'd be considered a mascot. But Frogger never, I don't know if he was an official mascot because it was it wasn't, it was Sega that published it. You know, it wasn't really made, this is made by Sega. But then Jump Bug was another one, and then that Spy from 005, and then the Jeep from Borderline, and then the Turtles in Turpin and Alibaba. So there's lots of possible mascots for Sega, but this one was very, very charming. This could be the first mascot by Sega. Yeah, we're going to see those games later. I'm seeing in the chat. He should be a mascot, the Tranquilizer guy. We're going to see him also on their home console whenever it comes out. Man, oh man, I'm excited for 1983. If you think 1982 is big, 1983 is going to be a massive game. All right, so the attract mode is showing us a little bit how about the game is played. Oh, and they got the diamond blocks there to get the extra bonus points. Of all the arcade games we've seen so far, there has been arcade games that let you manipulate a maze game, specifically the digging games, you know, dig dugs out there. So this one's doing something different though. It's allowing you to push the blocks around. You are changing the maze up, but Borderline did this too, where you're able to move around the Jeep and like clear a path. So it's kind of similar to other games, but not quite. There's nothing that's not a block pushing game so far. NATO Defense that we played earlier allowed you to deconstruct and blow away walls in the level, but not anything like this. All right, so let's go in. Putting a coin in. Push start. Oh, yeah. Very well done. All right, we already got some Snowbees coming after us. Oh, I almost got a double hit on him that time. Let's get this one on there. And he's going to start chasing me. Nope. Yep. You got to be able to push the ice blocks into the Snowbees to knock them out. And there's going to be more Snowbees that keep hatching. It's fast, it's frantic, but it is a lot of fun. Come on, take the bait. There you go. And you see more hatching all the time. Is that popcorn playing in the background? But nice tune or ditty. Arcade game. It has so much charm to it. Oh, not looking good. We do have a timer. We're supposed to be doing this very quick. Once you destroy all the Snowbees, then you can make your way to the next round. Let's see if we can get this guy to come up here. There it is. There we go. And you beat them all up, and then you go to the next level. No bonus. We didn't line up the diamond blocks that time. And this one's going to be ported, and the elements of this game are going to be in lots of titles. I'll take you out. No, you got the jump on me that time. And the Snowbees get smarter and smarter. As soon as they start disintegrating a block, then that's pretty much it. Yep, got it. Yeah, to my knowledge, Sokoban is not out. It doesn't come out until December, so we will see it at some point. As far as a block-pushing video game, this is it. There has been elements in Warp and Warp that allow you to drop bombs down, akin to, like, playing Bomberman, which doesn't exist yet either. That was a close one. Oh, he got barely out of there. So the diamond blocks do not go away. They stay here the entire time. Yeah, you can see the diamond block stayed at the top. Every other block, though, if it's next to another block, it disintegrates. Other than that, it's going to slide across the screen. So the strategy is to arrange the blocks in a way that you can use it to destroy all the Snowbees. I know, it really shouldn't have worked as well as it did. And it's amazing that we haven't... I'm surprised we haven't seen other block-pushing games or, like, Sokoban-style games out there. All right, let's go in again. Give me some more Pengo. I know, it has all the tropes of a really good arcade game. Another classic from Japan. Oh, he's just going to go straight down. Come at me. There you go. And then you want to set up a good pattern to protect yourself. Yep, he's already got me. Oh, he didn't take the bait. Okay. And you do still have a maze to run around, similar to Pac-Man, but now you can manipulate the maze to your favor if you're good enough at pushing all the blocks. That's true. And I don't think you consider the car in Dodgem as a mascot for Sega either. In a way, it reminds me of some of the computer games we played that were Pac-Man variants, trying something different. You know, like Lock and Chase. Lock and Chase was trying something different with the gates, but now you have the ability to push blocks all around the screen. Oh, there we go. We got two lined up. Oof. And have a mini cutscene with Pengo, very nice. It's amazing how far we've come with characters. They're just getting more and more charming. And adorable. Oh, I just walked into that one. Wow. And that's it. And that's the game over. Thanks for playing. Try once more. I believe I shall. Let's go again. And notice the arrangement is randomly generating itself. Changing up the formula. That's really nice. Alright, this time I won't change the blocks out unless I know for sure I can knock them out like that. Yeah, there we go. Oh, he appeared. Oh, I didn't hit him in the right time. Darn. Timing was off on that one. Alright, let's try this again. That one didn't work either. Alright, let's try over here. Oh, he got the jump on me. If it goes in too fast. Man, it is fun though. Because it's a different kind of strategy and a different kind of game than anything else we've played so far. You have to think differently. Pac-Man was just moving around, but this one is, where do you need to be and what's the best placement for Pengo to be able to knock out all the enemies? And sometimes you can get lucky like that one. Oh, and really lucky where they just go away. Nice. Yeah, character designs have changed so much. So good. Alright, so this time I'm going to let them follow me in the maze. Oh, man, they're so fast. There we go, we can take him out. And that one, got to be quick enough. Because now that they've sped up, let me see if I can take him. There we go. And then work our way over here. The AI's pretty good, too, the way they're following me around. They will not rest. Oh, there, you got it. If you notice the lives in the top left, it's Pengo lounging or relaxing. And then whenever you use the life up, he stands up, ready to play. Very well done. There's so much I can describe about the way this is programmed. And it still just blows my mind that playing every game in order, I didn't realize this. Pengo comes out before Sokoban. This feels like it should be after Sokoban. And they take the Sokoban variant and make changes to it, but no. This game came out first. We will see that one before we end 1982 on home computers in Japan. Oh, you may think there's different music. This one is the latest set on MAME, so the main set with the music. Or I'm wondering if it is the wrong music, I wonder if MAME's saving me from a copyright strike. If it's playing if it's supposed to play a different song in the background. Alright, now we're cooking. Wow, they're so fast though. Now these yellow ones are even crazier. Oh, I missed it. Oh, there you go. Now they got me. So made it to level 3. Again, it's a game you can't continue with in the arcade. Once you put your coin in, it's how far you can go. So no pay to play, but I do want to see the next levels, that's for sure. Oh, City Arcades is vouching is correct. Oh, maybe there's 2 variations. Very nice. Well, yeah, there's lots of sets we could be playing besides just this one. This is great. Lots of fun. Now, what would you say for all the games so far in the home or on the arcade that you could play? Because you can't play this at home. This is only in the arcade right now. Of all the arcade games so far, it's a very well done title. In fact, I'm thinking of easily starting at 4.5 as one of the best games you could play. Oh yeah, love it, manly. Wholesome Violence, 4.5 stars. Chiptune saying 4.5 as well. I do say it's one of the best games you could play in the arcade at this point. 5 stars from Bardo, man. That's way up there. Now, as far as the gameplay formula, this is something that does stand the test of time, like the other really classic ones that we've seen out there. Le Nuit says 5, and Scruffy Looking says 5. Yeah, it's a really good game. Charlie's saying 5 too. So lots of high ratings out there. I gotta say, of all the games so far in the arcade, there's not as much to compare this to, and gameplay-wise, it's really good. Oh, Marshall's saying 5 too. Yeah. Oh, maybe 4.75. I'm gonna go ahead and say all the way. It's a 5-star title because this game is going to be a formula that's going to be used on home computers. It's going to be used on consoles. So something that started in the arcade is going to influence and change a lot, and that's why I want their rating to go even higher than 4.5. Ubicore says 4.5 too. Yeah. Very nice. Yeah. Put all your comments in caps. That'll really influence the Chronologically Gaming scale. All right, we're going to have to leave the arcade, sadly. But this, ladies and gentlemen, marks the last release of a game that I knew pinpointed exactly, or sometime around exactly when the release date was in September. Now we have to go on to all the video games released at some time in September 1982, or the beginning of the fall 1982, or the third quarter of 1982. So that's we're now going in that territory. Let's go.
When you pinged your first Pong, you were being prepared for something.
We're being prepared for something.
When you downed your first Martian. When you ate your first Power Pill, you were being prepared for something.
Oh my gosh, it's Pac-Man.
Because those game machines were early versions of computers. And what you were being prepared for was a real version of a computer. The Commodore
we need a real
VIC-20.
computer.
Games like you've never seen before. But more important, true computing. Commodore VIC-20, a real computer. For the
Hey, fun fact, most of the games they showed in that commercial were by HAL Laboratory. The ones I saw in the background on the VIC-20, pretty cool. All right, so here we go. The very first game that was released sometime in September 1982 on the Commodore VIC-20 is 3D Man, or 3D Man, however you want to pronounce it. Let's take a look at the box. So it was first released in North America by Newfcop. We've seen them before. What a very bizarre front of the box. It's Pac-Man. Is that what 3D Man is? But Pac-Man is inside of a computer that I can't recognize, whatever's happening down there. In Stonehenge? So I'd love to pick the brain of whoever did the artwork on this box. This is like, what the hell is happening in the home computer world front of the box? It's awesome. Let's flip it over the back. 3D Man. The maze from probably the most popular arcade game ever, with perspective altered from overhead to eye level, the dots, the monsters, the power dots, the side exits, the on-screen radar. The game is amazing, it says right here. And then down at the bottom is more stuff by Noofkop. Noofkop. Not even sure if I'm pronouncing that one correctly. So this one also came out in Europe, and there's the box for the European, published by Bubble Bus Software. Avoid the monsters and eat all the dots in the maze. So it's another 3D maze game like Pac-Man. Nice. Yes, we're all 3D, man. And there's an example of the screenshot. Very nice. So the two versions, yeah, we can go to the Europe for Bubble Bus Softwares, but we're going to the first one by Noofkop. It's time to pop in and play 3D Man by Scott Elder at sometime in September 1982. This is also available on the Commodore 64 called 3D 64 Man, but we probably won't be playing that one. Very nice. We've seen Scott Elder before. Let's see what Scott's going to do now. Oh, yeah, not Proto Pac-Mania. Good guess. I'll pretend I don't know what Pac-Mania is. As far as 3D maze games goes, the best ones so far have been Phantom Slayer in August 1982. Before that was 3D Ghost Mania on the TRS-80 color computer in July 1982. And then we also saw 3D Maze of Gold in June 1982. And before that was 3D Monster Maze. There was no dots, though, in that one. This one is the next first-person perspective Pac-Man maze game. And I'm in. How many dots we got left? Oh, we're going. Okay, the joystick works. So we have a top-down maze, like they said in the bottom right corner. And then at the top left of the screen, I have the maze that I'm traversing. Whoa, this feels very bizarre to do in first person. Which one's the power pellet? I mean, look how the screen is flipping from one to the other. It's totally different than Spectre. We just played Spectre, and it kind of shows you the difference between how impressive Spectre was to have a first-person Pac-Man maze game. Oh, and I think, did I lose? Oh, there's dead ends, but I'm just working my way through the maze trying to get all the dots, but it's very hard to determine where you are. It's almost like we're playing a game running at 4 frames per second. And another video game that's really difficult to do on a live stream because I know which way I'm turning, but no one watching has any idea which way I'm turning. But it works. It has what they said. They had the exits to move on each side. I want to know, oh, it is live. The ghosts are moving. It's hard to tell because they look static. Yep, there it is again, and then lost another life and game over. So they are hunting me down, but you notice when they enter the screen in the top left, they appear for a second and then just go away and then come back. So it's very jarring. It's not as smooth as 3D Monster Maze, which still, the monster came at you. That Tyrannosaurus Rex was coming at you a little slow. That's true. It is no Hungry Boy, but it isn't, Hungry Boy wasn't 3D. All right, so that's all we'll say for 3D Man of all the games we've seen so far. As far as 3D maze games or computer maze games, it's definitely no Spectre. You got to check that one out. So I'm going to say subpar, 2.5 stars of all the games so far. It is commendable that they're trying a first-person perspective for a Pac-Man game. We've already seen some people do it for the home computer, but yeah, it's not up to snuff with everything else. Chiptune's already thrown out 2 stars. Yeah, poor implementation for sure. Curtis is actually staying pretty average for all the games on a home computer so far. I'm going to say subpar. It's very well done that they have the 2 screens, but whenever you play this by yourself, it would make more sense than everyone watching on the show. So check it out yourself. There you go. Curtis is saying switching to 2.5 too. So, yeah, I see some bad ones out there. Bad is the 2-star range. Average is around the 3-star range. All right. After that, what's next in the world of who knows what's going to happen? It's time to go to the United Kingdom for our very first game for a new home computer, the Jupiter Ace. Have you ever heard of this one? Neither have I. It looks really similar to the ZX81 over there in the bottom left corner. I'm not going to do my usual going through all the specs of the home computer because this one's rare. It's not a very popular home computer, and I just wanted to showcase some of the games to see what else people in the United Kingdom are playing besides everything on the ZX Spectrum and the ZX81 and the BBC Micro. Our first game is Ace Invaders. Let's check it out. Here's the box for Ace Invaders, or the cassette case for Ace Invaders. they're off to a great start because the company that publishes this game is called High Tech Microsoft. They have the guts to call their company Microsoft and say it's high tech, like better than Microsoft. I love it. And you can see the side there, and the back is just a cassette case. Nice. Yeah, this is definitely not. This one, I believe, uses the 4th programming language. And I don't think we have any other artwork besides the box. Oh, we have the ad you would have seen in magazines at the time. A whole range of software for the Jupiter Ace. You only need 3K. At least the game we're going to be playing today. Ace Invaders is 3K. And then you can see the other titles that high-tech Microsoft put out there. Much better than normal Microsoft. All right, let's pop in and play Ace Invaders. This is by Ralph Hilton of High-Tech Microsoft and later by Micro Marketing at sometime in September or sometime, honestly, in the later 3rd quarter of 1982. Okay, here we go. We're in. Oh, actually, we're not in. The game or the system always boots up like this, and we have to actually tell it what we want to do. So ready, and very slowly type in what is happening. Now we're really in 1982. All right, ready, and go. Yes! Where's my shot? There it is. Ace Invaders is obviously a Space Invaders variant. Now, when we were comparing versions of Pac-Man and said we're almost at 100 versions, when we said versions of Space Invaders, you have to remember that Space Invaders spawned Galaxian, and we have all the Galaxian Invaders. And then from Galaxian, we got Mooncrest and all the Mooncrest Invaders. And then we also have Astro Blaster and all the Astro Blaster. So it's more like Space Invaders has more variants. It has hundreds and hundreds of variants. So this one's just another one of just bare bones Space Invaders. The frame rate is very, very slow. It actually reminds me of the one we played on the Amber Pegasus from New Zealand, which is another really obscure home computer, but extremely slow frame rate. What you're seeing here is character graphics or modified character graphics, and it's beyond slow. I mean, this is barely even responding. That poor kid in the United Kingdom that got the Jupiter Ace when their friends were on the BBC Micro. I mean, even look at the shot. When I fired the shot, it feels like it's chugging to get to the end of the screen. And I have to wait until it gets to the end of the screen. Oh, maybe it was. That'd be really funny if it was. It has the sounds, though, of the... yes, I know, right? It has the sounds of the Space Invaders theme there. All right, that's... I've had quite a bit of Ace Invaders. So of the very first game we've ever played on the Jupiter Ace, not looking very promising. Of all the games you could play on a home computer, it just isn't fair. The Jupiter Ace seems like it's performing lower than anything else we've seen. And remember, the ZX Spectrum is still a brand new home computer. Oh yeah, we're going way low. I see everyone out there. Obsidian Arcade, 2.5 stars. Not too shabby. So you're saying just below average? I got to go even lower. It's of all the games on a home computer, this one's way down there. Yeah, it's, oh, thank you, Manly. All the pewters that could, then you came to the right place, because this show is going to catalog and show lots of little computers that could. But I'm to go down to the bad range. It's extremely slow. Considering all the other Space Invaders types games we could be playing, or even just games in general, it's got to be a 1.5. Maybe even 1 star, right in between the broken and bad range. Oh, that's generous. Very nice. So there you go, the Jupiter Ace. We're not going to break down a lot of stuff with hardware here on the show. We're just all about the games. So that was the very first for the Jupiter Ace. Let's see what's next. We're back on the Apple II. Here's Andromeda Conquest. Andromeda Conquest, we saw in magazines, and I thought we had played this before, because Avalon Hill's boxes look so much like all the other games, but no, we have not played Andromeda Conquest. We played a couple games called Andromeda, but this is the very first time we've seen Andromeda Conquest. This one's also available on the TRS-80, the Commodore PET, and the Commodore 64, but I don't think we're going to see those versions. Later, we will see Andromeda Conquest on Microsoft DOS and the Atari home computer, but here it is, the very first time you could play it on the Apple II. The box is very epic because this is an epic game. It's like we're going to watch the 2001 Space Odyssey. Flip it over the back. There's our 5 1/4 floppy disk we're going to play on the Apple II. Armored space troopers moved quickly from building to shattered building. Through the flames and billowing smoke of the devastated city, small combat airships swooped, seeking out remnants of resistance. Huge metal, plasteel crawlers stalked through the remains of the city, turrets rotating occasionally, firing a burst of anti-personnel weaponry at some unseen opponent. In a few spots, some small fighting still went on, but the outcome had been certain since that morning when the defensive shields finally yielded to fleet bombardment. That's how Avalon Hill does their lore or stories in the game. This one's big. Andromeda Conquest allows from 1 to 4 players to vie for control of the Andromedan galaxy. In multiplayer games, which are especially recommended, alliances and diplomacy among players can become an important consideration as each player strives to conquer the most star systems. This is yet another one of the 4X games. It's very rare at this time to see one of the 4X games, 4X standing for exploration, expansion, exploitation, and extermination. So far, we've only seen a couple of games. The Galactic Saga, or the Galactic Empire, part of the Galactic Saga trilogy, had this kind of genre game. And then, of course, Galaxy was another one we've seen. But there's not a lot that are like this game. Let's see the other art we have for Andromeda Conquest. We're going to control the galaxy. That's the whole idea. Here's the ad you would have seen by Avalon Hill and Microcomputer Games at the time. We've seen some of their arcade games. We've seen almost everything on here. Telengard, Moon Patrol, Legionnaire, VC, yeah, and then Andromeda Conquest, which I thought we had played, but no. Also included in the box is the Galactic Mapping Grid. To effectively play this game, you need to have a grid that you're actually marking on the map. They included a pad. Every time you played the game, you'd use the pad. So this is akin to Avalon Hill, which used to do board games. So this is kind of a board game or pad video game hybrid. But that's not all. It also has the probe data record. So while you're playing the game, you'll be using a pen and paper as well. Oh, it does look that way, Manly, definitely. There's our 5 1/4 floppy disk. We're going to play on our Apple II. And then another ad or part of the catalog that you got inside. Let's see which ones. We haven't seen Paris Danger yet. Skimmers, Gypsy. Oh, there's Space Station Zulu. We just saw that one. We've seen Vorak and haven't seen Fax in 5 or Flying Ace yet. Yeah, lots of stuff that Avalon Hill has. There's an example of the screenshot. We do have the manual, but it's massive. It's so big. There's a lot to the game and complexity to the game. So when you're playing this, you even have to know a few commands too, because you're essentially going to be playing this for a long time with whoever wants to play Andromeda Conquest with. There it is. We're going to form galactic empires in the game. These empires are formed by establishing new colonies in far-flung star systems and then defending them. The first player to hold 10 systems for an entire turn wins. Who is going to control the Andromeda Galaxy? And then events occur where you take turns. 2 events occur simultaneously and put you in charge of your species' destiny, development of a faster-than-light star drive, but it is a turn-based game. You're going to take turns with everybody that's playing. This is on a lot of different home computers too. We're going to see some of them, but not all of them. And then this breaks down all the starship types, life forms, the systems. You have to know all this to play the game. You will need the manual to play. Oh man, all the different fleet commands, where you're going to send your fleet, because essentially you need to send your ships to different sectors of the Andromeda Galaxy and then take them over. Start mining for resources and so forth. So you have the different views to check it out. This is on the Apple II. This is completely with text. So it's all done with ASCII characters. Nothing really flashy here. There's also combat that's going to take place too. An attack against the alien fleet or attacking its star system defenses. You're going to be taking out other people. And then the combat movement. So it is different on the Commodore 64. But yeah, there's an example of mapping your galactic grid or using the paper. Did someone write that down, or is that the example? I wonder if that's the example. Okay, very nice. And then we at the bottom, we got the loading instructions of how to play the game. Oh man, this is why most people don't play everything on the home computer, because of games like this. So there's our different views. I'm actually going to be referring to this screen right here to show a little bit of how the game is played. Let's pop in and play Andromeda Conquest. This is by David Peterson of Microcomputer Games, published by Avalon Hill at sometime in September 1982. I'm going to include links down below to the Wargaming Scribe. He has a really good write-up, 2 of them actually, for the 2 times he was playing this game and actually playing with other people. The first time was by himself, and then the other one was with a group. We get a ditty to play to start us off. Very nice. If you like asterisks, you'll love this game. So we can play a max of 4 people. I'm only going to go 2, but it's really good to play with someone else instead of by yourself. We do not want to load anything from tape. Player 1, what life form? I'll be player 1, and I'll be the insectoids. Player 2 is last person in chat. We'll say Marshall is player 2, and Marshall will be the humanoids. Enter the random seed number. We'll just do number 17. Why not? Stand by for galaxy creation. So it's creating the galaxy for us. So that's, again, another random game. And player 1 hitting the key. So now player 1 starting their turn. It's going to load up the top here. And, oh, hitting the key again. Oh, there we go. It's going to give us the statistics of what's happening. And there we go. There's all our stats. So if you like tables and lots of text on the screen, then you'll love this. Empire 1 statistics, our system, and then do we want to establish a colony? We can't establish one because we haven't sent a ship out yet, so I'm going to say no. And then number of Nova that we want to... So now we're going to be allocating which resources we want. I'm going to say no Nova. Or, sorry, 0 Nova. And then Echoes, I'll say 2 Echoes. 1 Ramas, and then number of defenses, I'll just do 1. Oh, I don't have enough resources, so I'll have to do 0. So 0 Nova, 1 Echo, 1 Rama, and then 0 defenses. Oh, I still can't do it. Okay, so let's do no Nova, 1 Echo, 0 Ramas, and then no defenses. How many fleets do you want to create? Let's just do 1. And then what system will Fleet 1 launch from? And now you have to know where all the systems are. So I'll say it'll launch from System 2. Oh, we have no colony there. So we have to establish a colony there first, and then launch from that location. So I guess we could do... can we do 1? No, I don't have a colony there either. So as you go turn by turn, you're going to be sending out your ships to different colonies and then launching fleets from those colonies and then amassing larger and larger places that you take over. But you can see where this stems from. It really is a game that almost feels like earlier Avalon Hill games, at least graphically. But this formula or this genre is rare. There's only 2 or 3 other games that we've seen on the show that take this approach of trying to take over the entire galaxy. It isn't a sight to behold, though. It's not graphically impressive, but it is trying to do something that not many other video games do. And that's all we're going to play because you can spend months on this game, going from place to place, taking over as much as possible. So there's a quick showcase of that. I'm going to have links down below where you can check out Wargaming Scribe's write-up of Andromeda Conquest. Of all the games you can play right now, there's better games than this. Now, the 4X game, or this the exploration, expansion, exploitation, extermination style game, it's done better with Galactic Empire. And I would even say some people would be in the Galaxy by Avalon Hill, and some people would be in the Andromeda Conquest realm. I'd still say it's still around average. There we go. Yeah, I'm seeing the ratings already flow now. Yeah, Curtis is saying 3-2. So this one's all right. It's around average, but there's better titles in this genre. This genre hasn't cooked enough. It hasn't been in the oven long enough to really shine, and we'll see it much later. Oh yeah, I know, right? It could be a 4 Marshall too. I'm with you there. It's such an amazing idea for a video game. All right, let's see what our next title is.
He's only 3.
We're next on the TI-99 4A home computer. This is Astromania.
He's only 3.
Now, this one we do not have. This one I could only find on cassette, and the cassette wouldn't boot or load for me. So I have no other way to play or a copy of Astromania. The majority of the games we play on the TI-99 4A are cartridge that you can just pop in and turn on. I love those. So I'm just going to show you a few screenshots for Astromania. This one had 3 different game modes. So it has the first one that's very similar to Space Zap, as your ship is in the center of the screen and you fire off everything else. And then the second mode is very similar to a Space Invaders or Galaxian fixed shooter. And then the third one, you're just dodging asteroids. There we go. So that's just showing the different game modes, but sadly we're not able to play it ourselves. So Astromania, if anyone knows how to get a copy or a way we could play it emulated on cartridge, that'd be great. But in the meantime, we're just gonna have to say we don't got it. So of all the games so far on a home computer, I'm going to rate it low unless someone can make it so we can play it. So I'll say 1 star. Astromania, I'd love to see what you're like. It's a very generic title, though. Astromania. Nice. It does have the 3 game modes, though, which is pretty cool. All right, let's see what our next title is. Right after this. Ooh, cool music. Whoa, what's happening? It looks like me when I played video games. What is happening? Psychedelic.
Anybody seen Johnny?
Whoa.
Only way to really win it is to really get into it.
So trippy. Maybe we should take some tabs of acid before we play this game.
Beanie Bopper for your Atari video game system. One of the new games of the century from 20th Century Fox.
Ooh, man, that's right. Never seen that ad before. This is Beanie Bopper for the Atari VCS. I'm tripping out, man. Maybe this game will help me, or maybe it'll make it worse. Here's the box for Beanie Bopper. This is by 20th Century Fox. This is their 3rd game we've played on the show for the Atari VCS. Creepy looking box, though. Honestly, it reminds me of something we've seen by Serious Software for the home computer. But nope, this is a real front of the box for a real game on the Atari. Let's flip it over the back. 8 levels of play. We just need a joystick. Better keep an eye out. Those meanie beanies are buzzing the city again. There's just one way to stop them. Bring out the amazing one-eyed Beanie Bopper. Go ahead, take control of the Beanie Bopper's rapid-fire stun gun and bop those beanies before they put your eye out. Be ready for plenty of action. Beanie Boppin' will keep you hoppin'. We'll see about that. Yeah, I know. If we're hypnotized to buy, maybe we shouldn't check the game out. Now, I'm not familiar with this. This is not a game from my childhood of all the games on the Atari VCS, so this will be new. Besides the box, this is the ad you would have seen in magazines from the time. 20th Century Fox, or Fox Games Incorporated, is pretty much contracting out Serious Software to make their titles. So this one's the 3rd one that Serious Software did. And yeah, there we go. Better keep an eye out for bothersome beanies. This is pretty cool. This is the Serious Software ad that you would have seen in magazines. And it shows stuff they have on the Apple, stuff on the VIC-20, the IBM PC, and the Atari home computer, and including the Atari VCS. So down at the bottom, the other 2 we've seen so far was Fast Eddie and Deadly Duck. And we're going to see Worm War coming up soon. There's the cartridge we're going to pop in to play Beanie Bopper. Only 1 player. No multiplayer available here. How do you play Beanie Bopper? What is a Beanie Bopper? I guess we're going to be playing as the Cyclops guy. So it tells us how to set it up and to begin. Make sure your system's turned off. Put the cartridge in and play. We know how video games work here. Your job is to capture beanies, bouncing orange eyes, and a crazy variety of falling objects. Beanies are devious and deadly and must be shot with the Bopper's stun gun before they can be captured. There's an example of the screenshot showing the bomb, the beanie, the Bopper, and obstacles, and then reserve boppers. So this game is going to, instead of just shoot things, we have to stun things and then collect things. So a very different formula than other games games on a home console. Tilt the joystick and zoom your bopper around the screen. Press the joystick button to fire the bopper's amazing stun gun. Press once for a single long range, or hold for okay, so you can do rapid fire short shots or a long range shot. Once you stun a beanie, you can capture him by just zooming your bopper over and touching it. None of the other objects have to be stunned to be caught, but a hit from the stun gun will slow him down too. Weird concept. I'm surprised we haven't seen a lot of games that do this. Each game begins with 4 boppers, 1 in play and 3 in reserve, so you have 3 lives, and then bag 4 beanies in a row without losing a bopper. You get a bonus bopper. You can never have more than 3 boppers in reserve, though. The game ends when all your boppers are destroyed. So simple concept. And then you'll begin bopping 2 items at a time, beginning with 2 beanies. Each time you capture a beanie, a falling object will drop from the top of the screen. The first object to appear is a bomb. At higher levels, you'll be bopping airplanes, parachuting people, and all of those things. So we're going to be picking up other objects too, besides just bopping stuff. If a stunned object or beanie is allowed to drop off the bottom of the playing field, it will be replaced by a meanie beanie. If a bouncing orange eye touches the bottom of the screen, it will be replaced by a beanie. So there's our game options. Oh man, how limited is that? There's only 2 options. We went from 100 and something game options to 2 now. Just terrible. There's our levels and point values and scores and captured items. So you'll be collecting items or things dropping down from the top of the screen. And we have a hint. You can shoot a longer distance if you don't hold the joystick button down. Got it. Nice. And then the other games that we're going to see later by 20th Century Fox. If you haven't seen them already, yeah, I haven't seen them yet. Those are the ones coming up. And they have a high score table at the end of the manual. Very nice. So this one was also by CCE. Let's go and play Beanie Bopper. This is by Grady Ward of Sirius Software. Fox Video Games is the publisher at sometime in September 1982. Here's our attract mode to play. This one is a scrolling game. It is a vertically scrolling game. The presentation is kind of similar to Journey that we played on the Atari VCS. It's going to just keep going up to the top the entire time. But this is kind of a new idea. I'm not going to try the different options out. I'm just going to go with option number 1 and reset. Here we go. All right, so as the beanie, I have 8-way movement, 8-way shot. So it's almost like it's I'm playing a multi-directional directional shooter, just with no physics like Asteroids. And then what you're supposed to do is stun the beanie once they're stunned. And the bombs you want to pick up, everything that drops from the top of the screen, go ahead and get it. But if you touch a beanie like that hasn't been stunned, then you die. Go ahead and pick him up. Make our way around. Get that one too. And then you're just trying to collect everything that you can as they fall down. Oh, and it does what I like to affectionately call excessive fire mode, which means that you can do a long-range shot, and it goes all the way across the screen. But if you mash that sucker, look at this, you can do super rapid fire, but it's just short-range shots. So stun them, capture them, move on, and keep it going. Control works really well to move around the screen and be able to fire in 8 different directions. And just collect a lot of points and how far can you go. Very slow scrolling, though. So the control is pretty similar. We played lots of multi-directional shooters that allow you this freedom. The auto scroll, it's not fairly original, but the only thing that's new is the shoot to stun, and then go pick it up. Go pick them up after the fact. What can I say? We're still experimenting to see what video games can do right now. Oh, but if you don't stun them, you're down. Yeah, the play control is pretty nice. Being able to move around freely and shoot like this is cool. In a way, collecting falling objects feels like I'm also playing Kaboom at the same time. Yeah, just grab something random at the same time. Oh, he got me. And I think that's our 3rd life. No, we're still good. And you can even pause the falling objects. Now we're picking up parachuters. Very nice. Yeah, I can see this has an addictive quality to it, because you think you can just you want to just keep going and playing further and further. Yeah, and it is different. I am not familiar with this one, so no nostalgia here. Oh, they got me. The multiple beanies on the screen is showing the age of the VCS compared to the newer home consoles out there, like ColecoVision. Because you can see the flicker coming in on some of them. Yeah, this is definitely a game that you would get into and have fun playing. You can see how we've stunned. Yep, and we have more enemies coming on the screen. The flashing enemies, though, does make it a little difficult. And notice how fast you get lives. I've died so many times because I'm doing so well halting the beanies. Now we're on to the next level, picking up whoever that is. I'm not sure. Yeah, and it just keeps going. Man, it's intoxicating. The scroll, it's almost like you don't have to have the 2D scroll to make it enjoyable, but I'd say it's all right. For all the games you can play on a home console, it's original, it's different. So I'm thinking easily 3.5 stars, starting there for everything so far on a home console. Over in the chat, we got Chiptune saying 3.5 from Obsidian Arcade. Yeah, so above average. I wouldn't say 3 stars. It's very well done as far as gameplay goes. Curtis is saying average 2, 3 stars. So yeah, for home console, I'll give it above average. It's a fun time. The one-player aspect, though, is a downside. Where's the multiplayer? Because it'd be cool if you got more people moving around at the same time. Hunter's giving an extra half star for the commercial. Yeah, trippy, man. Yeah, we'll do 3.5 stars for everything so far on a home console. Now, what's next? We're back on the Jupiter Ace, the brand new computer in town. Here's Cavern Attack, our second game we've seen on the Jupiter Ace. Here's the box. So it's another one by high-tech Microsoft, better than normal Microsoft. And this is another cassette case for the Jupiter Ace. We're going all over the place here. Do we have any other artwork for this one? No, just the cassette we're going to pop into play on our Jupiter Ace. Here you go. It's time to play Cavern Attack, another one by Ralph Hilton of high-tech Microsoft at sometime in September 1982. What will happen? I don't know. I just know I got to get these graphics in here. And make sure you don't break the game. That's a big thing. All right, here we go. Ready? Fingers crossed. We're in. This is it. Cavern Attack is an auto-scrolling game, but you don't shoot anything. You're meant to collide with different things. Oh, wait. Which things are we supposed to... Oh, I'm not supposed to collide with that one? Oh, and I think we already broke it. Can I load... do I load it again? Hold on. Wait, hold on. Do I have to load... There we go. We're back in again. You just have to type the whole... Probably not the whole command. And I'm not the master of the Jupiter Ace. So this game has no shooting. So it looks like we have some items to pick up for points, but then make sure you avoid whatever that is. A fish. So it is it's a pretty boring affair because all we're doing is moving up and down. All I'm using is 2 keys on the keyboard to move up and down. But you can see the frame rate is choppy as hell. And this is honestly, new computers take a while to get used to. So it's kind of not fair. It's like you're starting the races and we already have so many home computers that are doing amazing things, and then this one shows up. It's just terrible. It's very slow. Well, Errol, you're just in time for the Jupiter Ace home computer, the newest one we've seen here on the show. As Manly puts it, the little computer that could. I feel like I'm gonna break it. I have broken it. So gameplay is just 2 keys: move up, move down, and pick up certain things, but avoid the fish, and that's it. Maybe they did. It could have been there before because the release dates for this system, I'm pretty much just going by when the system was released. Wow. All right, I think we are good. There we go. So there's Cavern Attack for the Jupiter Ace. Another riveting title for a brand new home computer. Of all the games we keep playing right now, Cavern Attack's really low. In fact, I would say even lower than the last one we played called Ace Invaders. Yeah, Chiptune's saying 1. I'm going to say 1 as well, just because it's not as intuitive. The moving up and down and just collecting, there's no shot. You have to have shooting in a video game. Yeah, Curtis is even saying 1 star. Ugh, yikes. Shake it off. Just shake it off. It'll be all right. All right. Well, that's where we got to put our video game playing on pause. Hit the break key or just break the game. Tune in next episode as we continue playing all the games released at some time in September 1982. That's it for today, and like I always say, exploration, expansion, exploitation, extermination. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.